that I noticed that the dollar have gone up since 2016, sir.
Okay.
So when you speak of the slide of the dollar, in regards to what way are you referring to the dollar being slid?
No, what we are referring is just since I've been around, I never see like I always see like okay, US is always like we are like $100 and then we go to $110, then we continue to $150, we go up to $160. Like that's sliding to me. Maybe
Yes.
we gain a couple cent, but it's slide again a dollar.
So question to you, sir. Question to you. Are you aware that the Jamaica dollar, under the leadership of Alexander Bustamante, was more valuable than a US dollar?
I know that. That's why I'm wondering why it got this to this point.
Are you aware of where the changes came along?
I think where the changes came along is when Jamaica go on and get independence. That's where I think the changes come.
Hold on, Mister. One moment there, two locks, because I'm not going to stay. I'm actually late for church. You know, but Anisha sent me the invite, and in looking now, I realized that the sea got a little bit turbulent. Good morning, Mr. Leaford.
Yes, sir.
It not get turbulent. It's still calm.
It's calm.
All right. All right. I know from Professor Sir Kingston is here that things good enough, but you know, Joshua have to drop in for him 2 cents.
One more stroke down the battlefield is never enough.
All right. So just to correct something that Professor Strength said, and then go back to the start of the slide of the US dollar. No, the start of the slide of the Jamaican dollar.
Yes, sir.
When Edward Seaga received the country in 1980, he received it at 250 to 1.
250.
When he
yes,
demitted
sir. Thank you, sir.
Right. When he demitted office, at 550 to 1, which was a marginal slide because it wasn't even doubled. However, the converse is true. When the PNP got the country in February 1989, between February 89 to October 1989, it moved from 550 to 1 to $7.50. And by 1992, it was $23 to 1. Right? Now, to go back to history now, Mr. Leaford, for your benefit, it's not when we got independence. The dollar started sliding under Michael Manley, to be exact.
Yes.
1972. When Michael Manley got the country in 1972, the US dollar to the Jamaican dollar exchange, the Jamaican dollar being stronger, was 77 cents to 1. The Jamaican dollar being the strongest at that time. So it was 77 cents to $1. Right? So if you give somebody
US cent, you know.
No.
Right. So if you give somebody a US dollar at the time, they would only it would be worth nothing compared to the Jamaican dollar.
Yeah, it would be less than $1. Jamaican.
Right. It would be less than $1. So it would be worth nothing compared to it, less than $1. Right. Now, when Michael Manley got the country, and this was so from 68 to 72 when Michael Manley got the country in 1972, and that's where the slide began. In less than a year, the dollar started sliding, and in 2 years' time, then it moved on further to almost $3. Right? So from 72 to 74, it was almost $3. And by the end of the period, it was 550 to 1. Right? Now, I have done a quick check just to make sure that I wasn't going to tell you foolishness while I heard the conversation a while ago. Under the PNP from 1989 to 2007, I didn't even calculate the rest. The average slide of the dollar per year was 8.9%. Every single year, the average slide of the dollar. Cumulatively, that is. Right? Or if you look at it in the context by where they got the dollar and where they handed it over, it was thousands of times more, not hundreds, thousands of times more than where they got it, because they handed over, I think, at $76 to 1. But they got it at $550. Right? Now, That is why inflation ran away. One of the reasons, apart from the high interest rates, right? Under this government, the average slide that took place in the 10 years is 2.6%. So let's compare 8.9 to 2.6%. You could say that the dollar is crawling now compared, and this is the slowest period outside of Edward Seaga's period that the dollar has lost value. This has been the slowest period ever, right?
So
yes,
sorry,
sir. Go ahead,
it's
Mr.
been going on, it's been going on step by step by step, sliding step by step by step. How do we get here? All the people in the house.
All right. So
get it together.
All right. Let me help you to understand how it got there. In 1989, when the PNP regained control of the economy, they decided to go liberalization and free market. Edward Seaga, being the financial guru that he was, warned against it. He stood in parliament also. So it's not, he both told them privately, plus he stood in parliament and told them that we are not ready as a country for this. Right? And if you're going to implement it, go phase by phase. The PNP, of course, thinking that they know more than this man who just lost the election, decide we're not going to listen to him. And at any rate, if we listen to him, he's not going to get the credit. So we don't want to listen to him. Who is Edward Seaga to tell me nothing? And they did not listen. And so they used to have a system. Serkington remind me of the system that Edward Seaga had that kept the dollar stable at the time. He had a system that he used, that he created and kept the dollar stable at the time. I don't remember the name of it now, but it worked.
Them say peg the dollar.
They say peg, but that's not the proper name. But
No,
that's
not the proper name for it, but that's what
right.
I remember clearly.
All on the guys. Right. Chris Carter, where is that?
That's in Montego Bay.
Montego Bay.
No, Montego Bay.
Yes.
That's one of the towers from the
tower.
me there
right at the pinnacle, me there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Montego Bay. You're at the pinnacle.
Yeah, me there right at Montego Bay. Me there right beside the pinnacle.
Yeah, man, that's
all right. So Chris Carter,
that's
when you guys are talking. When you guys are talking, you must never assume that those who are listening understand. Explain to them that pinnacle is really the construction of an apartment complex 27 stories high, which will be the highest in Jamaica when it's done, right? Because if you say pinnacle, some people may have said, but why am I talking?
Yes, Guru. Yes, Joshua. That's Joshua.
28 story, Joshua.
Yeah.
Right.
Joshua.
What they might add on next one, Joshua. Now a new side they might add on again.
No, it's going to be 4 towers.
See them a build one new tower around this side here again.
It's gonna be 4 towers. Carter.
Yes,
right.
See 2 more what is up.
Joshua, continue.
All right.
Yeah,
so,
continue, Joshua.
Carter, right, because I'm behind in terms of my church.
All right.
Right. So I am now saying to you, sir, that there was a system that Edward Seaga had in place, and when that was removed,
Joshua, could you be talking about parallel market rate of exchange?
it's not that one. No, it's not that one. I know which one that begin with B. No, that wasn't him. That was Omar Davis that make people have vehicle out there with cash in the car back. Right?
Was it crawling peg? Was it the crawling peg?
1980s.
Right. But no, when I heard you said parallel, I thought you were referring to the black market. So I was saying no.
Was it the crawling peg?
No, I don't remember the name now. But for want of a better term, we'll just say peg now until somebody remembers. Right? But it worked then, sir. And when they removed the safeguards instead of the gradual implementation that was suggested by Edward Seaga and recommended, not just suggested, and he pointed out the dangers of doing it, then that's what happened. Now, when you have an exchange rate that you work by against any dollar, it's not just something that you get up and remove overnight. And there are many things that we have mitigating against us. When you have a trade surplus, right? And I hear a lot of persons in their dishonesty, Mr. Leaford, talking about Jamaica need to do more export. The truth is you're living in a global economy. Our largest trading partner, which is the United States, subsidize farming, right? And not only subsidize farming, but they limit the amount that you can export to their country, right? All right, let's just give you an example. Do you live overseas or in Jamaica, Mr. Leaford?
Overseas.
Joshua.
Have you ever tried carrying out fruit yet?
No.
Any green produce outside of the country? Outside Jamaica?
From Jamaica to the US?
Yeah.
I tried a few times, yeah. I tried a few things.
And I'm taking it away from you once and find it, not true?
Well, since lately, they start take away your mangoes and all them things. So I don't even.
Since lately, them used to be kind to you all the while. It's a long time. I'm doing it for years, and I'm just showing you. And I'm just showing you how strident they are with these things, right? And even trying to carry in seeds, you can be charged for it.
But when you will get through in Jamaica, but when you reach here, them take it away from you, man. They don't want it in the country.
Right. So it's strengthening the point that I'm making that the US has put so many obstacles in the way. Yes, sir.
The system introduced in 1980s, the foreign exchange action system, and that helped. Yeah, it helped to manage effectively the fixed rate of the dollar.
And I know you're reading. Thank God.
Yeah.
Right. Tell him where you're reading it from so he can find it himself.
Coming from Google. All you have to do.
Right.
That's coming from Google. All you have to do is just ask Google what is the name of the system that the government in Jamaica used in the 1980s to manage or to control the US dollar or foreign exchange. And that will come up.
Right. So, and when you have a trade surplus, Mr. Leaford, when you're having more imports than export. So in addition to what I mentioned about the United States subsidizing their farmers, and so that their farmers are able to produce at a cheaper rate. In addition to that, their system, when we have backyard farming in Jamaica, most of our farmers are small farmers. They are not large farmers. In the United States, an entire farm sometimes can be almost the size of a parish.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? When you're producing on such large scale, again, your prices are going to be cheaper. Right? In addition to that, because of the amount of Jamaicans that have gone outside of Jamaica and have lived outside of Jamaica, and plus their children, and they have also seen on TV, Jamaicans want the taste of foreign in their mouth, because them taste it already, them get used to it, so when them come back, them want the taste of foreign in their mouth. So guess what? Where there's a demand, you have to meet it with supplies, not true?
Yes, sir, definitely.
And once you have that now, then it's going to put pressure on the US dollar, because you are going to need more US dollars in order to import those things. With the advent of Amazon also, where people see things on Amazon and Shein and all of those things that them want, it's going to put pressure on the US dollar, the Jamaican dollar, right? We don't produce oil in Jamaica, so when we need oil for JPS and our vehicles that we have out here, if you have like we're having now, war on the international sea, there's going to be a greater demand for US dollar also. When people go and hoard dollars, in other words, hide dollar at them yard, use and create scarcity of the US dollar, because I'm saying, boy, I make my hold on it long so that when it loses value, and me exchange it, let me get more. That puts pressure on the local currency also. So it's not just, it is not something that can be fixed quickly. However, government through their policies can put mechanisms in place to slow it down. And that is what this government has done. Right? So I believe that currently, at this moment, this is the best that can be done until we find a more effective method.